Here's my thing. I can do all those things. I have
I
no
know.
problem taking care of.
But is it
A
the
to
best
Z.
thing you do?
I can't control my emotions enough to be a good leader yet. And that's the hardest truth I've ever had to tell myself.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box. So, bearded Josh Engle. We haven't done a one-on-one interview with you, man. And I've been dying to like crack
You're lucky.
this nut open. Josh is an entrepreneur, the king of downtown LA, wheeling and dealing, making moves. An idea man that is
That's all I really am.
yeah, really. You have so many amazing ideas, Josh. And you've made things happen. You make moves. I've seen that. And so I want to know your story, man. I want to know like how you became Josh. Who are you? Who is the man behind the beard, Josh? What's your earliest memory?
Earliest memory. I always feel weird about this because I don't have any early memories. I don't know.
Like
I
don't
don't know,
remember yourself as a
of
small
like,
child?
I say this, but really, I think I saw it in a VHS that I was watching of when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I can't remember I can't like, I remember this. I
3 or
remember
4?
playing, I remember sports.
Okay. At what
I
age?
can remember sporting events all the way back to Little League Baseball. I remember snagging this fucking ball on first base, wearing these Chiefs sweatpants. I was killing it.
So you were a sporty kid.
You could, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so where did you grow up? And how did you grow up?
I grew up in the village of Bellwood.
Bellwood?
In Nebraska. It's a town of 395 people.
395 people, man.
Yeah.
So you knew every single person in town.
Well, more like they knew me. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
a kid, and I was an asshole. You know what I mean? I mean, not as an asshole as much as like I was a kid, like doing things that normal kids do, but just in a small
Like what?
town
Like
where
just
you
running
get
the
caught
streets type
for
of thing?
everything that you do. Yeah, you know.
Like what did you do? I'm just curious because I
The things I got caught for, or the things I didn't.
all of it.
I can't incriminate myself now and go back to Bellwood. They locked me up in a
You never
two-man
really go back.
cell up there.
You did that shit? They're still after
Nah,
you.
so my hometown has like 2 bars when I was growing up. 2 bars, had a grocery store when I was super young. That's the first place I ever got caught stealing anything. But my mom made me take it back. I guess that would be an early memory.
How old were you?
Young. 4, 5, 6 maybe.
And you that was the first time you
Stole some gum, pack of gum or some shit
And
on the
then-
way out.
Okay.
No remorse.
No remorse. So you were 3 years old, hitting the clubs and bars of Nebraska.
Definitely. No,
So
I mean,
how did you? We need to go back. This is like.
I was
this is
gonna
very
start this with my
shocking
like
information.
worst moments in life, like when I
No,
was
like,
a
how did
thief
you-
kid.
What was your parental situation? What was your home situation? What was the situation? Because I was a latchkey kid, man. So I
don't know.
I
My
was like
parents,
that. I was all over the.
I would never
neighborhood.
blame my parents for anything that happened in my childhood, just because they were never had parents to raise them. You know what I mean?
It's not a blame game.
My dad was basically raised by his grandmother, Grandma Engle, my grandma Lola. You know what I mean?
Grandma Lola. Her name was Lola.
I knew her. She lived right down the street from us. Took us to school when we were kids. All that type of shit. You know what I mean? And then, my mom's parents. My mom was like a 11 or 12 kid. She was like a triplet. One of the kids died in the womb or whatever, but then she was twin. Had a bunch of heart problems, surgeries and shit when she was a kid. But her mom went off with somebody, and her dad like committed suicide, and her and her brother were on like the cover of the adoption magazine, and were adopted by this rich farm family outside of David City.
This is who? This is your mom?
It's my mom. My mom got pregnant with my sister like 2 or 3 weeks before she was going to graduate high school at this like Christian school or whatever. And like one of her best friends told the principal. Principal kicked her out of school. Parents disowned her. She ended up living with my fucking dad.
Didn't get to graduate?
At my grandma's.
She didn't
Nope.
get to graduate because
Nope.
she was pregnant.
Yep. With my sister.
Wow, your older
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah. 3 years older than me. So then,
And she's how old now?
my parents had
How old is your
had their
sister now?
first kid. What? How the fuck old am I? 34, 37, 36?
All right. Just trying to,
37?
gauge. Okay.
So my my grandma basically raised them, and which is nice. She's a super cool lady, but you know what I mean. It's not like having parents. It's not like having parents, or it's not like you know what I mean. So I can see from a distance, you know what I mean. But you don't know that growing up as a kid. You just think, oh man, my life's fucked up.
Yeah.
But
well, I didn't.
It's not that fucked up. My parents,
but you don't know any different.
My parents sacrificed.
Did you think it was fucked up, or you're
I
saying
didn't think it was fucked up. I had a good
think
child.
my life was fucked up, but we were like.
I mean, at the time
really
when you're
poor.
a kid, it's just like, oh god, fuck, you know what I mean. Like I always wanted to get out. I always wanted to see. You know what I mean. But
it was too small for you.
Yeah, but
Nebraska.
I did get out. That was the thing. Like that's why I wanted to continue to get out. My dad was a truck driver, so we used to go with him all the time. Like
so was my dad.
I would skip school. I would fucking go out on the roads. I would fucking go. You know what I mean. It was fun as fuck. As a kid, you're like, oh fuck, I got to go with dad again. But you know what I mean. Sometimes it's fun. You know what I mean. So. But
so did you have
my parents would sacrifice a lot. They sent me to 5-star all-star camps in North Carolina. You know what I mean? I went to the Tar Heels basketball camps. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, Jordan's jerseys hanging in the rafters, shit like that. Shit that was amazing to me being a kid. But I was also like a star athlete where I was from. You know what I mean? Always on the all-star teams. Always, you know what I mean? Breaking my school records and shit.
Talk about that a little bit. Just
talk about.
Come on.
I don't want to be Al Bundy over here talking about how
I know
I was great.
It's embarrassing.
And then I managed a shoe store after high school.
That's funny, bro. Tell us your Al Bundy story, bro. Let me tell you something, Josh. Before we continue, you don't understand how inspirational you're gonna be to so many fuck ups like you. Because
thanks, Rick.
No, because I was a fuck up too. Like I was stealing, and then my dad was a truck driver. I was a latchkey kid. My parents were like, awesome,
I don't know what
man.
that means.
Like I had a key to get in the house around my neck.
Oh, that's what a latchkey kid is?
Yeah, but I was a latchkey kid, man. But still,
that's why I don't like to get into a lot of shit about my childhood.
No, but it's
because
good.
It makes me and my family look kind of, strange or off, but it's like people don't understand kind of like where I come from, where basically 70% of the people are on meth or coke or some sort of substance, you know what I mean? Or like the two things to do in town are go to the bar. So you went to church, then you went to the bar.
Yeah.
That's life, you know what I mean? You order your meal. Like we used to order meals from the bar. Like, oh, go uptown to the bar. Like the kids would go in the bars. I was hanging out in bars, smoke-filled, drunk motherfucker bars, like alcohol all over the floors, playing fucking video games in the back and shooting pool. You know what I mean? Growing up, like that's what we did. We used to hang out we used to hang out in the time capsule.
I understand.
The first place I ever smoked weed was in this time capsule that they kept. I don't even know when they're gonna open that bitch, but apparently a bunch of people threw some shit in there. They put these benches around it. It's like this little park outside the bars. Parents are in the bars, kids are in the park. Not even a park. It's like the middle section in between two roads that has like this thing. But
see, my parents had a form of that. You know what it was? They went to their friend's house every weekend, and like different friends, and they would tell us to go play. So we would just like entertained ourselves till 3 a.m. until we'd pass out, and then they would put us in the car after.
So my parents never drank at the bar for some reason. They never went to the bar, never hung out at the bar, like never were uptown with the town people.
So they weren't part of the
we were like,
crowd.
yeah, we weren't the accepted family in town per se. You know what I mean? My dad got caught for selling cocaine when I was like young. Had to write letters to the judge, like, please don't take my dad to jail type of letter shit.
You wrote a letter to the judge when you were how old?
I don't know, fucking 5, 6, 7. I don't fucking know.
Did you?
Obviously, I didn't.
Did they ask you to do it?
I had to be older than that.
Son, sign
there's
this.
no way like Sophie's writing a letter for me right now. You know what I mean? Right. I had to be like 8, 9. I don't know.
Right, you just don't know.
No, we knew the whole situation.
Right.
We always talked about things.
Did you offer to write the letter? Or they
no,
said,
it was like,
Josh,
hey, we need you to write this letter. And everybody in your family, and like, hopefully your dad doesn't go to jail.
What did you think at the time? Like, how did that make you feel?
I was like,
were you like, whatever? Or you
I don't even have any negative memory about it. I just remember like being in the courtroom and then him being on probation for like 5 years. Like, what do you fucking do?
Right. You just accepted
My whole thing was like, I always held it negatively that he always accepted his friend back that ratted him out. Like his best friend turned him in to get off on some shit. You know what I mean? And it ruined our whole entire name in that stupid ass town and everything that happened in that stupid town, like for the rest of time being, because like, but also, you know, I was a dick.
In what way?
My dad was always like a little hellraiser on motorcycles and shit when he was younger. So it was like this series of hellraising kids that came up to this town, I guess. So,
right. Why do you hellraise?
And when I was in sixth grade, my first crime in which I got on probation for was I tried to break into the bar uptown, steal cigarettes and shit to sell to my friends, but couldn't get in.
And then they caught you?
Sixth grade was when I was smoking cigs, like a pack a day, for a good couple months. I quit cold turkey.
Wow.
I used to steal cigarettes. Oh, that's what I'll tell you about the Z92 concerts.
So
that's what I remember stealing. I used to go to remember when they had the cigarettes out?
Yeah.
Like in the grocery stores?
Yeah.
Like you just go up and like grab them. I used to like back up to them as a kid and like sit there and like fill my Jenko jeans full of cigarettes and like take them to these fucking Z92 parties. So everybody had cigarettes. My mom caught my fucking brother one time, but she didn't know I had a whole bag full. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird.
Wow.
We just did a bunch of shit. I always was drinking liquor from like the time I was like 14, smoking weed.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, that's what kids do in that town.
Wow.
They grow up fast.
It's a little bit of a different lifestyle than the suburbs of Los Angeles.
Yeah, they grow up fast because I went back there recently and I noticed like nobody separates their kids from any conversations or any type of like things going on, or like, so everybody so the kids like know everything going on with the family, going on with the adults, going on with like the negative here, the negative, you know what I mean? Right. And that's what I remember. Like, you always knew everything. There was no like.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it's terrible. It doesn't allow kids to be kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we grew up so fast. That's why we were drinking. Yeah. That's why we were smoking. That's why we were cussing, fucking, you know what I mean? Right. Like, we were out, like, I don't know. In my opinion. I just think kids should be separated for a while from adults. You know what I mean?
Of course. They should be allowed to like
be kids,
explore for themselves and not be burdened with adult problems right away. Right? Like,
yeah, but you just shouldn't be in a conversation of like your mom or your aunt or whatever talking shit about your neighbor about some weird shit. You know what I mean? Like, those sort of stresses shouldn't be put on your children.
Right.
That's a stress, whether you like, you know what I mean? It's like a negative feeling or a negative thing put on your children.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I know. It's an interesting balance of being open and honest with your kids, but then not putting that burden because they can't handle it yet. Right. You know, they're not ready for that responsibility. They need to learn first like emotional intelligence and you know, grammar and like basic stuff first. You need the baby steps. So I always like being like honest and open with my kids, but trying not to burden them with like heavy shit they're not ready for yet. You know what I mean? You got to wait till they're ready because their brains are developing. You guys started like really early. Like the kids here are partying too, but they're just doing it when they're 16, 17.
Should look into something because something happened in sixth grade where like in sixth grade, I was just a real big piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Just sixth grade.
I swear, like I fucking got, this was back when like ADHD was like first like being diagnosed kind of in schools, and they were giving people Adderall and shit like that. Like they brought these people out to like videotape me in class. They brought these counselors out to my school. They brought this dude because they thought I was like out of control kid, right? Because I was
so they diagnosed you
because I was like, you know what I mean. And I kicked the trash can across the room, and they would like send me to the principal's room. They tried to do a lot, honestly. Like low key, they did a lot to try to adjust. No, to try to adjust, and like the principal would shoot hoops with me.
Oh, so they tried
in like before basket, like after lunch or shit like that. You know what I mean? Try to like, you know, because it was just like this weird like. I only wanted to play sports. You know what I mean? Like that's all I cared about, kind of.
Right.
But I was a crazy kid in sixth grade. Like they videotaped me. I smacked this counselor came to school and like I was leaving. I was like, I ain't sitting here. She grabbed my arm and I reached back and like smacked her arm off of my arm. And I was like, even thinking about it now, I was like, yeah, fuck that bitch. You be grabbing my arm as a kid.
Right.
What the hell? Who are you?
Hey man, I'm telling you,
But-
like one time a teacher grabbed my kid's arm and I was like, don't grab his arm like that.
Yeah, but this was back in the 90s.
And he like
when that
went
shit
like that
was
too.
like
So that's
accepted.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's fine. Teacher grabs you by the fucking ear and pulls you back to class.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Oh, we
But-
used to get paddled in Columbus, Ohio. Like the principal
Shout
would
out
come
Columbus,
and
Ohio.
the principal would
Paddling
come
motherfuckers.
paddle little kids. Man, I remember in second grade.
Yeah, our principal
I
had a
was
paddle
deathly
in the
afraid.
office, and it was like this weird shit. Like, did y'all used to really paddle, motherfuckers? Like, what?
Dude,
is it?
he paddled kids. He would take them out of our class.
Wow.
And I had a friend that was like a badass, and he's like, he would give us choices: paddle or like detention. And my friend was like, I'll take the paddle. And he took him outside, and you could hear it thwop, 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 like 7-8 times, and he just walked in like this.
Wow.
And he sat down in second grade. This is my buddy from like the projects, right? So he was like, I get you call that a whipping? I get a way better whipping at home. And then they asked me that like a month later. I did something. I didn't finish my homework, and they're like, paddle or detention. I'm like, oh, I'll take detention, baby. Please no paddle. Dude, that shit sounded like murder, man. Big ass thing. And he would come in and show us. Dude. Crazy
Schools are
times,
different.
man. Different times.
So then they
But
had this counselor come in.
Yeah.
And like, he was supposed to like tell me everything that was wrong with me and this, that, and the third. But what happened was he ended up making the teachers take an entire like training course on how to deal with kids like me or something like that. And like, but I was still getting suspended a lot. Then I had this growth spurt. So I was like super skinny and grew in like 7th and 8th grade. You know what I mean? Started like worrying more about females, sports. That's when I was like getting real.
Is
good.
that when
I
did
was
you get into
real
sports?
good in basketball, but
When did you get serious about sports? Curious, because I want to understand why the 6th grade thing happened. Because
that's when I got serious in sports.
Because I think ADHD, yes, it's a diagnosis, but I feel like it's also a superpower that can be harnessed. Like a lot of athletes,
No, I think that
because
too.
you're able to like drrrr on the court.
Yeah.
We have like eyes behind our head. I was like that too.
In basketball, yeah, my
Yeah.
court awareness is crazy.
Crazy. Like the way we drive. We know there's a car right here, that car right here, right here.
Mhm.
It's ADHD, bro. People that don't have that can't switch like that physically with physical stuff. So it's just about harnessing it. And maybe
think
you were
that
acting
too.
out because you're being put. First of all, you have probably not the most emotionally intelligent like environment in general in Nebraska, right? Where you
How
live,
dare
probably. Number two, you were put into a school environment to sit and pay attention to some academic, in the box, like, and you kind of probably in your gut was like, this is bullshit, because it kind of is. And the last person that can fit into that is you. And maybe once you found basketball and other sports that got serious and was able to put your energy into that and have something to lose, maybe that evened you out.
If I
Is
was
that a
out-
true statement?
No, I had all that, but the problem was
And
that
bring your mic closer, because we want to make sure we capture all that
I said
audio.
I had all that.
Closer.
I had all that. I had all the sports a fucking kid could handle, bro. I played fucking football, basketball,
even before
track,
even before 6.
fucking, and I was never. It was like, it's not like I was like, oh, I went out for track and I was like, just it. I was getting ribbons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took the top 2 in districts in high school for fucking discs. I was fucking 3rd in districts. God damn it. These 2 kids were like 6'6", just fucking chucking it out there.
Damn, dude.
Just missed it. But
I've seen you shoot around, man, so I know you have like
basketball was by far
superior athletic
my best
skills.
My best sport. Football. Listen, I scored. This is why it's like really like an Al Bundy story.
Come on, man, tell us.
I scored
Pass the
10.
lighter.
I scored 10 touchdowns in a football game one time.
Fuck.
They only counted 8, or it would have been a state or tied a state record.
Why did they only count 8?
Because 2 of them got called back. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit calls, man.
So 8 touchdowns.
Fucking clipping. Yeah, right. He barely didn't even touch the kid. Kyle Kovar or whatever. I think that's the kid's name. He didn't even touch him. But I threw for 6 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So that's like kind of like, threw for 6. But then I like ran one in. I fucking intercepted one, ran it in. I ran a kickoff back, and I ran a punt back.
And then you
kind of picked up a fumble. I remember winning.
And then you worked in a shoe store.
Do you know who that was against?
Who?
So the coach of Nebraska, University of Nebraska right now, his name is Scott Frost. That was against his parents. His parents were like these legendary football coaches. Like they coached him, they won a state title, blah blah blah. Something happened, and they had ended up coaching at this not low key. It's like it's like an Indian reservation school, high school. Like it's Wood River or some. I don't know what it's called. We went up to play him. They literally had this kid named like White Eyes. He was supposed to be like super fast and shit. They just put me on him. Like I didn't play corner ever in my life. They was just like, we need you to like cover this guy. But I was so much bigger than him that I remember a couple times just like picking him up and just like running him out of bounds. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was a crazy game. But the point being is that it was against Scott Frost's parents, who's now the coach of Nebraska.
Wow.
It's a huge Nebraska fan. If you're from Nebraska, you know how big that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out Huskers. I'm still rooting for you, although you got to get your shit together. Now that we can pay kids, all you guys with that football money, figure it out. Get the kids to come back. So I've always been into sports, really. Like from the time I was a tiny, tiny kid, I remember yelling at the TV for Nebraska football. Nebraska football was like fucking Christmas in Nebraska. Every year it came around. Like from September to fucking January, it was Christmas. Especially in the 90s. We lost 10 games. From 1990 to fucking 2000.
Wow.
We were in the championship like 5 times. We won like 4 of them or some shit like that. It was like people you gather, like your friend. My dad would have his friends over. Their friends would have their kids that were our age. You know what I mean? It'd be a fucking house of 20, 30 fucking people for every game. And that was like not just my house. That was like most fucking houses. You know what I mean?
So when did like sports really become like serious for you? Like what age?
Probably when I joined the fucking Breakers Club basketball.
The travel team?
No, man, when I was young, man, I was always serious about sports.
From like
always. Like I never took sports like, hey, let's go play basketball. Never.
So you always had that as an outlet and your parents always encouraged it.
Yeah, well, I was always backed for some reason for being like this shitty, out of control kid. Like my parents were just so good and like believing and loving of me that they just would have my back no matter what. When they, you know what I mean? Like that's really what fucked me up is my anger and a lot of things. I went to this basketball camp. We were in the championship game. I kicked the fucking chair. These kids that weren't as good as me got on the all-star fucking team, and that, like when you went to that camp, if you got on that all-star team, they sent your fucking film and shit and your name and all this type of shit out to like 200 some fucking colleges and blah, blah, blah. And that was like my freshman year. Point being, I fucked up my life myself. You know what I mean? And I understand that. And most of it was by my anger. Just
where
like
do you think
not
that
being
came
able to
from,
control
man?
my anger. Huh?
Where do you think that came from?
Man, what the fuck? I'm not a psychologist. Where's that lighter?
You know. Is it
I don't know. I'm just angry, man. I just get
was
angry.
someone angry toward you? Like, for example, I know a lot of my anger is
my house is angry. Like my dad's a super angry dude.
Yeah, my dad is a very angry person. So that's where I got it. And I'm not blaming him. He got it from his parents and so on, right? But I've reversed a lot of it through like lots of self-reflection and self-therapy and like external therapy and book reading and you know, thinking about shit and catching myself.
Sounds great.
Yeah. It's improved my life, man, a lot. But anyway, I know where it comes from and it's always there. It's always there. It's something I have to always like. It's like being an alcoholic, man. Once you get that rage in you, man, like it's always there. It's like Incredible Hulk.
It's been 6 months since my last rage.
Yeah. We need to have a support group, bro.
Giving out chips.
It's like those sharks.
I haven't raged on anybody in 90 days.
Right.
Get my first chip.
And he's like, please.
Dude drops the chip. You're like, God damn.
Make my day.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
So where did yours come from? Your father? The neighborhood? You know what I mean? Like the environment, man. It's got to be the environment.
The constant suppression of everyone around me since I was a kid, trying to hold me down.
Is it?
Hell yeah. I had some football coach whip it around like after I graduated high school. He whipped his shit around and like chased me down like 7 miles, pulled me over and was like, I'm so sorry for what we did to you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, his car, like, you know, chased me in when he saw me or whatever. And he was like, I guess they like blocked scholarships and like people from talking to me and shit because they were jealous of like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's not that. It's not that. I don't have any pure evidence of any of this, but I'm just telling you what this fucking guy did.
Right.
Whipped it around and chased me down 7 miles to apologize what they did to me. And I was like, all right, thanks.
Gotcha.
Fucking does me no good. So I went to this junior college and, you know, I fucked that up myself too. Marijuana, you know?
Yeah.
Marijuana. The first kid, super accurate arm. Crazy accurate. Super big alcoholic.
You were a quarterback?
Yeah. Super big alcoholic. And he got caught for drinking, so I had moved up to the starting position. Then I got caught for smoking weed. I moved back down, never played another down at quarterback again.
Well, how'd you get caught?
Some fucking son of a bitch ratted me out because we smoked out the apartment. Point being, though,
is that
what happened though was I got tired of like not playing because I was used to like starting and playing, and you know what I mean. I was like, man, fuck this shit. I quit. I went back to Nebraska. I took like this kid with me who was like they were like not had good grades or whatever, so couldn't play. So we like went on this road trip. Went back up there Monday and shit. Coach like talked me back into coming out and playing, and I was like, man, I'm gonna play a different position then because if you ain't gonna play me at quarterback, I ain't gonna just sit here and not play. So I moved to defensive end, which seems like a very weird move, you know what I mean? Quarterback to defensive end. But I was like, the first time I stepped against one of the linemen, I did like an in-out move, and the dude like basically fell over. But I basically came in on like 3rd, 4th down, shit like that, rush in, stuff like that. Point being was, got my interview in the paper in the last game because by the end of the year, we got our shit together and like we were in the district championship. We won that shit. I had 2 out of the last 4 tackles of the game-winning sack. And they like interviewed me in the paper, and I was like a kid, like super excited, saying dumb shit.
You still have the interview?
Yeah, my parents have all time. My parents have a whole scrapbook of all my shit. My dad has everything I've ever owned, I think.
So interesting, man. All right. And I know, man, you are a talent. I already know you're a talented athlete from just how you shoot the ball, bro. Because everyone says they can shoot, even college players, but then they shoot. It's like, and they still might be good, but I can see the touch, man. I can see I don't know if it's tens of thousands of hours you put in or you just have one of those, like,
I used to
just shoot like Steph Curry.
Again, shout out Tom Yachty. He was the principal who like really believed in me and believed in my athletics, and that's what really kept me going and trying to play sports because everybody would tell me you can do whatever you want, you could play for any team, blah blah blah, and I really thought that was true, which could have been, but I didn't put in near the work that I know now that it takes, or near the work I know people like in California or people who, and that's the problem is that we didn't have anybody who around us who had ever made it in sports or had ever made it to college level or had ever made it to NFL. So they don't know. There was nobody here to tell you like, oh, you ain't working hard enough.
Right.
That's not going to, you can't get there off of raw ability. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I saw when I joined.
But you're like, I'm the shit.
Yeah. Like I thought I could just do it off raw. You know what I mean? I should have been in just dribbling with 6 basketballs because I'm 6'1". You know what I mean? Ultimately, I'm Allen Iverson. It's tiny. So if I wanted to play basketball, you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of
definitely your gym.
So that's why I kind of gravitated to football and went to junior college for football instead of went and actually played what I love, basketball, because I didn't think I was big enough.
A mistake, my opinion. Sorry,
definitely a mistake.
Do you realize that now?
Oh yeah, for sure. But
because if you were guiding another athlete, you'd say what?
to play what you love, of course. But
No matter what.
I love football too, but
I
it was
know.
like definitely not at the same
You
love.
didn't put in the level of work that you would have done for basketball. That's the whole point.
But I was the right size for football.
Yeah, but Allen Iverson was 6'1" too.
But
So
Allen Iverson grew up playing his position. I grew up playing center and forward, and that's why now, while I'm out here in the Y or out in these fucking games, I'm out here like 62 and fucking 2 out here in the streets because they can't stop my post moves like Hakeem Olajuwon in the streets.
that's the thing. You said that your outside shooting isn't even the main.
I mean, it is, but
you always played big man.
Yeah, but I also hustle. I grab boards like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. You're wild, man. Do you play like that? You probably play like Rodman out there.
Yeah, kind of.
And
but I can also score.
Yeah,
which annoys a lot of people. But
yeah, dude, that's.
But also sometimes I go too hard, injure myself. Like I'm getting old, man. I gotta stop fucking playing these fools. I always feel like I got something to prove. I ain't got nothing to prove nobody.
But the reason I'm saying that you could have stuck with basketball and it might have worked out better for you is not to rub it in. It's so that you can encourage future athletes that you're gonna be mentoring to go, nah, man, play the thing you love. I know you might not. You think the size doesn't fit the stereotype, but you're gonna put in more work. That's the key.
Yeah, but learn where
you're gonna be hungry
early. You know
sure.
what I mean? Like, don't go out fucking. You know, like at a certain age, you know you're not gonna be 7 foot tall.
Right. Don't play center. Right.
You know,
start playing like, point guard.
Even point guards are 6'4" now. So you know what I mean? Basically, any normal human being play point guard.
Right. I had a vision of your indoor like basketball, whatever. Auditorium, stadium, sports facility, I guess, like a basketball facility, basically, right? For competitions, tournaments, practice, open play, whatever. And I was picturing that you would be, for your summer programs or winter programs, probably be sponsoring some kids from those small towns that need to know, hey, you got talent. We like your video clips you sent. This is what it takes. And you show them, like, you need to go back to Nebraska and work like this, dude. This is the kind of training they're doing here. Use the YouTube videos and do it.
You know what a lot of the kids don't get to? They don't play anybody but their friends or people they know from a town over here or a town over there. There's no like, when I used to go to those basketball camps in North Carolina and shit like that, and people from all over the fucking world, like Canada, like all over the world would come to those basketball camps, right? That's where I got like a lot of competition. And I also, that was a story about shout out Tom Yachty. He used to always have his son was like years older than me, like 8 years probably older than me, right? And all these kids that he used to run with. And every time, most times when they would rent the gym at the elementary school, like in the town we had, you could rent the gym for like $20, $25, some shit like that, right? And they would go up and run. I used to go up and run with them in like 6th, 7th grade. These dudes were like college, old.
Wow.
Right? And I would run with them and I would hold my shit, bro. I would score. Like, I feel like that's where I got real competitive when I would always play older kids.
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
But
it leveled you up. So you had a way to level up. Okay, so then what happened with sports?
When I look back on it, you know what I mean? At the time, it's just like, oh, you playing these old ass dickheads.
Right. So then, okay, so like, let's just fast forward a little bit, and then fill in.
Let me finish the basketball
or
the sports history for you.
Yeah.
So after, why I said I wanted to go back and play basketball was after my first year in football, we were state runner up, blah blah blah. I just left. I was like, I didn't want to play football no more. And I went down to Tampa, Florida, because on spring break, I went down there and stayed with my family, who I had never met, really. And, like, I got cousins down there and shit like that. So I moved down there. My family had ended up following me down there and fucked up a bunch of shit with my brother's high school, this, that, and the third. But point was, I moved down there to play basketball, but I couldn't get into the school because my grades were shit at the junior college that I went to. So I ended up just like kind of not knowing what I was going to do, floating around, trying to figure out this, that, the third, if I was going to play sports anymore. I just went to animation school, International Academy of Design and Technology. I went for animation. I saw this commercial or some shit on fucking
So
TV or
you
some
just
shit like
thought
that. I went there.
you just thought that would be like a good job. You could get a good job out of it, or you were
No.
excited about it.
Come on, man. Absolutely not. I
So
had
what-
an idea for the greatest video game of all time, which
So you
is
went to
still an
school-
idea that will be made, and no one has done it yet. But now is the time is ripe.
So
Right
you
now.
went to I didn't know you went to school because you had a master plan. I thought you just went because you're like, oh, I need to have a career. So let me get my
Well, I had
graphic
thought of this
design.
game in junior college, right?
Mhm.
And then when I was floating around trying to figure out what I was gonna do, you know what I mean? Like, well, at that time actually was Hurricane Katrina. That was like the in between time, and my dad was hauling ice and water for FEMA, so I went with him, and we went down to like Biloxi, Mississippi, and down and all this shit. And I was handing out water and ice and helping the army and shit. They was trying to recruit me at every place, but because they were shorthanded.
So how old are you at this point? You basically like you're joining your dad truck driving and kind of exploring and finding yourself.
17, 18, 18, 19, 18, 19.
Okay. And you're already done with high school at this point?
Yeah, this is the in-between time
Yeah.
before I went to college.
Got it. And then so
Or-
how did you find yourself? Like you kind of went on this
Who the hell said I found myself, man?
Yeah.
I'm still looking.
I know, but you kind of I feel like you're on the doorstep now. And actually, well, you're already doing a lot of what you're going to be doing. So I feel like you did find yourself. Maybe
Who knows, man?
'Cause you-
Fuck knows what I'm going to be doing.
so fast forwarding just to like share the story of who you are. Like you've got how many business deals have you been a part of, closed, thought of that turned into businesses in the last since you got to LA, basically, or since you started becoming?
To be honest with
an
you, I have this
entrepreneur.
eerie feeling that I can't really close business deals, and I don't really have that much business savvy in that sense. What I did was my mom, you know what I mean? I don't know. My mom got some money and was blown through it like the fucking lottery curse. So I took part of that, invested it in this weed company. Then I opened the gym, man, and that has been the roughest
Yeah.
journey of my life.
How long has it been,
I didn't have white hair in my beard before that, I don't think.
bro? I had a picture of me when I was operating the indoor soccer facility. When Felix was born, I didn't have any gray, man, in my beard. I had gray in my hair, but not in my beard. And look at it now. The facility was, dude, that operating a sports facility or a gym, it's fucking tough, rough business, man.
Yeah,
So
and
much,
then-
there's a lot to it that people don't realize, you know.
And then I'm in
Well, it looks
one
nice.
of my other business partners.
How many
I'm
many
in
years have
with
you operated the gym?
3 now,
That's a long time.
but
man.
it's
like
it's-
if I'm
it's
not
like a
passionate about something,
consistent. It's not like a consistent 3. It's like, but I'm super passionate about it because people don't even realize basically what I was trying to do. I was trying to create a trainer-friendly gym in the sense of like you don't have to be a trainer forever. We want you to come up and own your own facility. We want to platform you into becoming an owner. You know what I mean? You just come on, you learn, you go through the system, this, that, and that. But it just hasn't got to that stage yet.
Right.
Like that's still ultimately like, you know what I mean? And I got a million ideas for the fitness industry that I don't really want to just blurt out, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's like, and it's this, in my head, it's this synchronized path that's so easy to see, but it's very hard for me to get anyone to see, apparently. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it's,
So going back to real quick, you got into Kush Clubs, right? Then what are the
Mhm.
other businesses
well,
that you could talk about that you've
uh,
gotten involved in, helped to
helped-
launch, came up with the idea, like
I helped,
brag about yourself a little bit so people know why should they even like
I don't need
listen
to,
to your advice.
I mean, I don't need to brag
What
about
you got
myself.
going on?
It's, you know, like
No, but say
I got a dope business partner that's able to get a lot of dope shit done. You know what I mean? She happened to believe in me and this idea. It's really, I mean, it's both of, she wanted to open a pizza shop. You know what I mean? I had this dope idea. We started talking about it back and forth, coming up with dope ideas together. And now we're here, and that shit's actually coming to fruition. Juicy Pizza is about to open, I don't know, in a month or less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the public.
on La Brea
she-
and Fairfax.
Yep, and she's been killing it. Her business partner Alex. She brought some more people in. You know what I mean? They've been doing a really good job over there. So I don't
So
really
who
gotta.
else is
I don't really
involved with
gotta do
that
much.
that you can that you want to shout out?
Just those two.
All right,
I don't really know many more people. I met the other guy they brought in. He seems real cool. So
dude. I think dude. It's amazing to see anything come to life, man.
the
Just
pizza
because
shop's
you had other
crazy.
people involved doesn't mean you were still a catalyst with an idea. And I actually think like hearing some of the details behind the idea you originally had, that there could have been some other things implemented there. Like I think that's why I like kind of, you know, interacting with you and bringing you to like meetings and stuff, because
So you can
the
steal my
ideas,
ideas
man.
like
Yeah, so I
everybody
can steal
else.
your fucking ideas. That's actually the truth. Because I'm fucking smart enough to know that a good idea could be, very lucrative if you have a great team that can execute. Because
But that's what
I
I
also
mean.
have had a lot of ideas, just like sperm, that never made it anywhere.
That's
You
what I'm
know what I'm
saying. Who
saying?
knows? Maybe I'm not the executor guy. You know what I mean?
I just
Who knows? Maybe I'm just the idea guy, and I
That's
gotta live
good.
with that.
Take that, and that's okay. Right? I don't think I'm the execute guy either. You know what I tell my wife? I just realized this recently. Maybe it'll help you. When my wife and I want to be super productive that weekend, I'm like, honey, I'm either strategic or I'm like super like tactical, where either if you come to like a strategic decision, go, hey, what do you think about this big decision? Or if you want me to like do some like heavy lifting, like go pick some shit up, like here's a list, honey, do this. I'm your guy. Anything in the middle, planning, calendaring, thinking things through, like take care of it, honey.
Here's my thing. I can do all those things. I have
I
no
know.
problem taking care of
But is it
A
the
to
best thing you
Z.
do?
I can't. I can't control my emotions enough to be a good leader yet, and that's the hardest truth I've ever had to tell myself.
My man. Josh, I'm so fucking proud of you, dude. We cracked the fucking nut. No, man, I'm serious. That was my biggest Achilles heel, dude. I messed up so many relationships, so many opportunities and I quit my basketball team in my senior year because our coach was a fucking dickhead. I mean,
Listen,
he was.
if
He didn't
I
know anything about
wasn't
basketball.
ultimately a
We
piece of
egged his
shit,
house, by the way. Yes, it was us. And half the team quit. But I realize now I shouldn't have quit. I should have stuck in there, went to every practice, busted my ass. I loved basketball. I never gave basketball enough of like a chance because I didn't believe in myself. But not that I would have been at your level, but still, man, it's
I don't
always
have a
good to
level.
like
I never
give.
even went to college. I'm a high school
It's always
basketball player.
That's okay,
I had
man.
to tell, you know what I mean?
That
Like,
doesn't mean
as
the
good as I
potential
am
wasn't there.
now, it doesn't even matter. I'm better than I ever was at 35 years old.
It's never too late.
The best basketball player I've ever been in my life is
Wow.
like today when I was playing
Really?
basketball. Every day, I feel like I get a little bit better, but more like
Are you gonna
old Paul
be?
Gasol YMCA good.
Wait,
You know what I mean?
is that basketball competitive business plan you have going to include age groups for like someone like you that can like challenge other people?
First of all, don't you ever try to put me in an age group. I'm in 20 and above.
All right, so you can play with it. You're good still. You're not retired yet,
No,
bro. You
First of
haven't been
all,
through an NBA career, so you could be fresh.
I won the lower adult division of the Shepherd of the Hills basketball tournament with a bunch of Walmart managers.
Damn.
Anyways, besides the pizza shop, I have also created a sex book. Well, a fitness book, both. Sex Fit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's coming out soon. Hopefully soon, you know what I mean? It came out ish. Dog, hey!
So, how did you figure your shit out, man? I think that's like
I don't know why you asked me. I don't have my shit figured
you do,
out.
man, because you got to downtown. We talked about it last time, like how you kind of bounced around. You lived in different places, and you found, at least that's what you told me, your heartbeat kind of in downtown, sort of.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
your
No, I love
vibe.
downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown is a vibe. Downtown is the vibe. But I'm just not sure if downtown loves me yet. You know what I mean? I don't know if I feel the mutual love. from downtown yet.
Yeah.
You know,
It could very well be something you are missing that if you can fix could help you appreciate downtown even more.
yeah, the gym to be successful. That's what I gotta fix.
Benny, you're gonna have to here, I'm gonna have to fix it.
But
Tell
that's
me,
how I know about my own self again.
so go back to
You know
the
what I mean?
go back to
Million
what
times over.
go back to what you said before, man.
About what?
Go back to what you said before. You said
Tom
your
Yachty?
biggest Achilles heel. Talk about your Achilles heel, man.
I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
About my anger?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you like? Do you have a plan for it?
Yeah,
Is
stop
this
doing
something you're gonna address? Stop doing it.
That's my
You
point.
gotta have a why, though, man.
Why?
Like,
Because
I
I
didn't
want to
stop
stop
till I
fucking up
understood.
relationships. What do you mean?
Yeah. You know, like, no, seriously, like the whole, for me,
I quite possibly could be one of the most successful fitness people out here if I didn't fuck up a lot of relationships in the last 3 years. Actually, the last 5 years, including when I was a spin instructor, because that would have carried over into
right.
shit I'm doing now. But I didn't try to fuck up these relationships. I'm not trying to be.
I
You know
know
what I
you're
mean?
not
It's like
trying.
just like people are very judgy when they act like they're not. To be honest with you,
I
But I
know
get angry.
you better than probably most people know you and understand you because I am a recovering, rager. I got into a lot of fights, like I told you, and I would always be the bad guy. And I understand that once you snap, no matter what the other person did, you're the bad guy. That's the problem. The spotlight goes on you. Somebody could have fucked up and did something that wronged you. And instead of leaving the spotlight on them, we start demonstrating our, kind of dissatisfaction. And then the spotlight goes on us.
I
know
mean,
what I'm saying?
deep down, if I had anything lesser going for me, I would literally haul off on a lot of these fucking people. But it's like, who can do that these days? You know?
Right. Yeah, see, and that's not going to really help you.
You can't.
Right.
There's no check-in shit these days.
Right. Exactly.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.